welcome to Unpopular Opinion, Kyle. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Paul? You good?
Oh, do you know what? Right, I am so not set up.
I
I
just sat there and I was like, okay.
well,
Yeah.
I came on a little late because me and you were on a phone call, and then I had to do a bit of setting up, and then for some reason. I had a bit of a lag issue, so I've had to sort that out while talking to my guys. And then I've just realised that I haven't set up the question. Oh no, I have. They're done. Oh, we're good.
Ah,
We're kind of a bit better than I thought I was going to be.
Ellie, thank you for the taps. Oakley, thank you. Eva, welcome in. Hello, everybody.
So for the guys in the chat, I mean, I've got 12 in mine, and I've got 14 who are ninjuring. For those guys that don't know who you are, who are you?
So my name's Kyle, and I own an agency on here called Break the Chains. And what we tend to do is we try to help live creators succeed on their live journeys. So what we tend to do is offer sort of tips, tricks, process changes. We help with appeals, bans, that sort of thing. But most and foremost, we've kind of got this community spirit about the agency, which is where we try to stick together and have regular boxes, which is basically people coming onto TikTok and having a chat at night time, and we try and provide a bit of mental health support as well. So yeah, that's kind of who we are and what we do.
I love that. So let's address the elephant in the room. You're a moon.
Okay, I am. Yeah, that's correct.
So, well, unless you're just a perfectly circled block of cheese with a butt. So,
legend has it this is my real face, by the way.
Is it? So, I mean, look, I've known you for a while, Kyle, but those that are in the chat and those that are in your chat, just explain the moon and why you're a moon. I know, but for everyone else, can you just...
I'm Mark Rockman. So initially when I first started on TikTok, I was not very confident at all whatsoever. It was one of those things where I didn't really speak to people, didn't go into boxes. The first time that I started going live, Jem, thank you very much. The first time I started going live, I used a filter. Thank you, Penny. And as a result of using that filter and getting to, go around chats and speak to people and do my own lives, I sort of built up this character, this persona, and it stuck. And I've never really taken it off. Thank you, Penny. I've never really taken it off before. So it stuck, really. And now I'm at that stage where eventually I might take it off, but it's kind of like it's stuck. And I don't think anyone in the chat that I have would recognize who I was as a person if I didn't use this moon filter anymore. So yeah.
No, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? People do. You've got Deadmau5, who's an amazing artist. He doesn't show his face. There's quite a few that do. So I haven't got a problem with it. I think it's you, and it'd be quite weird looking at you without a moon.
Yeah, now. Thanks.
Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, so let's get into this then. So we're here to talk about agencies. We're here to talk about when I came on here, when I first started, excluding the fact that you were one of the first people that I spoke to when I came on here live. When I came off my first live, I had so many messages from agencies, hundreds, not literally. I wasn't that popular, but I had quite a lot, and they were all. You're amazing. You're the best thing I've ever seen. You are going to go whoosh. We want to support you. We want to get you on that trajectory. We want to support you. Come and join our agency. I'm like, I literally have done 30 minutes. Why am I? How do you know in 30 minutes that I'm like that? So, what is an agency?
So, first and foremost, an agency is something that is supposed to give you training, offer you tips and advice. They're supposed to help you to grow your lives. Maybe there are some people that aren't feeling very confident, as I was when I first started, and we can help to build people's confidence. We also help with being able to protect people's accounts. Now, when I say protect people's accounts, I don't mean we can definitely get your account back. It means that if you've done something online on TikTok and broken the terms and conditions and your appeal has failed, we have a second crack at doing giving that appeal and adding some context to it. So with that, we're not always guaranteed to get your account back, and anyone that says, oh yes, we'll definitely protect your account, they're lying to you. It's within context and whether you've broken TikTok's terms and conditions, and whether or not the person on the other end is feeling particularly generous on that day, and whether they'll give your account back.
Yeah,
so we've had success stories, and you know,
I got promised the world, literally the world. When I came on, they promised me diamonds, they promised me gifts, they promised me everything. And I mean, look, we've had this conversation. The only reason I joined your agency, genuinely at the beginning, because I didn't know who you were, I didn't know anything about you, was because you didn't ask me to join the agency. You came on and you said, are you in an agency? I went, no. And you said, do you want to? And we had a bit of a conversation backwards and forwards about it. But I didn't know anything about it. I've been on live half an hour and you didn't harass me, which is why I ended up joining you, because you continued to support me because I wasn't in your agency. Not to get me to join you, but just because we had... oh, apologies. I've just had a restriction. So
how strange.
Well, you know, it's TikTok. Contains... Oh, it might be the drink. It might be because I've just had a glass of Coke.
On that. If you just appeal it, it should be fine.
Yeah, well, we'll do that. I'll send that out. See, this is why we've got an... Oh, it's gone wrong. It's fine, don't worry, we're still live. This is why we're on agency, because he knows what he's talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I joined you. So, let's step back a bit. We've done what an agency is. So, let's go to you, because obviously you're a human being, not a moon. So, you started in music, for those that don't know. What came first then? The beats, the drama, artists? What's the music career about?
So initially, when I first started off, as you say, I was in music. I was a DJ, a music producer. Sometimes I did a bit of MCing as well, and also was an event organizer and sort of promoted doing raves and stuff like that. So in terms of the reason why I got into that, it was purely because I did have a love for music, and it was one of those things where, yes, there's always drama in wherever you are, whether it be on TikTok, whether it be in the music scene, there's always something going off. But I think you've got to have an inherent love for something to be able to carry on and want to do it. So for me, music was always that first love. In the words of like a song that people in this chat will know, it's music is my first love and it will always be my last. It's literally... It was always about the music, regardless of what happened in the scene, regardless of how well or how bad it went. The music was always there, so it was the music first and foremost for me.
Wow! And so, you, I mean, you've mentioned you've worked with some people. Who have you worked with, and how was that?
So I'm not sure if you know many of the people. There's a lot of Clubland artists I've worked with. People like Darren Styles, Entrance. Like Ian Van Dahl, artists like that, DD, I've been involved and on stage, people like the Venga Boys, all of them, those sort of people. So yeah, even some of the newer people as well that are around at the moment. So I've been involved in hardcore, hard style, and also sort of Clubland EDM stuff as well.
Wow, love a bit of Cy and Hixie, love it, bit of bonkers. Yeah. You know, gets the blood pumping. I like to do that before I come on. I pay a bit easier music before I come on a live interview, but I like a bit of bonkers. You know, just to get things moving. I have an Alexa in there; she plays it for me as well. So, what made you jump from producing to TikTok? Why? Because are they different? Are they so different? Is it such a?
I think what it was is initially when I was really reluctant to join TikTok at first, because to me it was always kids dancing around. That was it. You know, I'd always thought of TikTok as this, kids app where people were doing dances, all of that sort of stuff. And I was reluctant to join at first. And then I sort of saw that there were people doing DJ live streams on here and showing people producing their music. And I thought, you know what, I could actually do that. That might be a great opportunity to be able to introduce my music to a newer generation of people. So my initial aim when I came onto TikTok was to focus solely on music. And it sort of morphed from there to creating a second account, interacting with people, getting to know people. And then this was born. It was a case of all of a sudden I was doing something completely different. I was hosting lives, and I was, doing the humor, the sarcasm, the innuendo, all of that sort of stuff. And it just morphed into more of an entertainment thing, and the music took a big backseat as a result of that. So when I came on, it was first and foremost for music.
Amazing. Do you still do music then?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't DJ'd anywhere near as much as I used to. I enjoy that. There are plans in the future to, get my room set up and the studio set up and get back into doing music. But I've been really quiet on the music front because I've been working, a job as well as doing the agency, as well as doing my streams. I also run a record label as well, which has been a little inactive recently. But I'm doing so many things, I just don't have the time right now to focus on music.
So wow. So you're a DJ, you're a producer, you're a writer, you own a label, you have an agency. At what point do you breathe? Do you know what I mean?
Whenever I can. It's busy, but it's fun and it keeps me going. I mean, like, I know what I want to do and where I want to be, but I know that in order to do that, I've got to keep on working hard at it, and that's it, really.
That's. I mean, look, that's impressive. So have you got people in your label now that you? I know you said you stepped back a little bit, but have you still got people on your label?
Yeah. Yeah, there are still people on the label that still produce tracks. I haven't released anything for a while. As I said, I've taken more of a backseat from music, but the label's still active. It's still there. It still uploads to all the digital sites like, Spotify and, all of the various sites, Apple Music and all of that. But it's still there, able to be revitalized as and when I start re-releasing tracks again.
Wow. So at what point did you realize that TikTok's just not a lot of teenagers dancing then?
See,
I'm on here and I'm not a teenager and I'm not dancing. Although I had a battle and I ended up dancing because Jess made me. But do you know what I mean?
Well, we do love Jess. So the thing is with this is, like, I noticed that there were certain artists within my scene that started gravitating towards TikTok to do live streams, and I was kind of a little bit late on the bandwagon. I thought, you know what? I can do that. And I started seeing that it was a great vehicle for getting music out to people, because we noticed that over the last sort of 5 to 7 years, events have died down. People aren't going out anymore. Everyone's sat at home. And you know what? People seem to be more inclined to watch a live stream on TikTok than they are actually to go out into a rave these days. So it was a case of expanding my audience to appeal to people that hadn't been introduced to my music yet, because I was still going out and playing to like 500 to 3,000 people, but at the same time there's this whole new generation of people that hadn't been interested or introduced to the music yet, and I thought it was a great opportunity to do that.
That's amazing. So did you? I don't know how to ask this really, because you kind of answered it, but you planned to start an agency at what point? What made you go, I know I can help people more than just being on here and getting a community? How did you jump from just looking at music and people doing what they're doing to, let's go for it, let's put an agency in there,
It happened accidentally more than anything. It was one of those things where obviously I'd come on to do the music. It started gravitating towards doing these sort of streams, being in people's boxes, building a community of people. So I started building a community of people from around the world, from America, Australia. I had all these people that I was speaking to on a regular basis. And I started hearing bits of information from people that were currently in agencies, and they were saying stuff to me like, oh, I don't know who my manager is, or my agency hasn't helped me with my band, or there's no communication. And I just sat there and I listened to all of these people saying these things about agencies. I'm like, we need an agency. And the person that I initially started the agency with, Mark, at the time, it was a case of, do you know what, we should start an agency. I'm like, Mark, I'm so freaking busy, I don't have the time to start it. So Mark was like, okay, I'm going to go away. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he went away and did the legwork to initially start the agency up. And then the agency was born. I started bringing people on board because obviously I had that team and that family of people. And I started bringing those people into the agency, which then gave us access to a lot more stuff. It was a case of, okay, I've got this group of people. What can I do with them? Let's bring them into an agency. Let's give them the options to have battles and, you know, band protection and all that sort of stuff. And let's bring them away from those places where they're currently not happy right now. Hey, Keisha.
Wow. So when did you realise that it's not a record label? This is harder because there's so much. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm going to ask this because I don't know. I'm naive to it all. It must be so difficult running this compared to a record label. I would have thought.
It is. I mean, one thing that you have to realize about the difference between TikTok and a record label is people that are mostly professionally inclined. They want to get their music out and released. They want to have the benefit of the record label, and they are more willing to work with you than somebody that's on TikTok that sees it as a hobby, that doesn't understand why they need an agency or why they're having, you know, anything to do with an agency. So you'll find that the record label is a lot more professional in the way that it's run, whereas TikTok is more people orientated and also has potential for people to crash out on a regular basis, and you know there could potentially be issues. It's a lot harder to run an agency because you're dealing with so many people that aren't always professionally inclined. They're on here because they want to have a laugh or they want to grow their account, but there's no you know, it's not an employer contract sort of thing. It's a lot more along the lines of service to people, whereas the record label is more like, right, you've got a track, let's get it released, let's promo it, professional contracts, yada yada yada. TikTok's a lot less like that. It's a lot harder to deal with.
So how do you find people? Are you there at 3 o'clock in the morning? I mean, look, right. When I run this chat show, so it's me. There's nobody else involved, and there's only me. So I sit there on the FYP hours and hours and hours a day. If I'm not on live, I'm on the FYP just to find people to interview. You've got to find people that want to join you and stay with you and grow with you. How do you do that?
So the recruiting, it's actually something I'm okay at. You know, it's probably one of the strong points. It's a case of, I do stream myself. So I'll do, you know, morning battles with random people. And every so often I'll come across someone like yourself and I'll be like, you know, I'll have a chat with you. I'll see what you're like as a person. I'll go, actually, do you know what? He's got potential. I like him. I'm going to stay in contact with him. I'm going to ask if he has an agency, if he knows what agencies are. So that's one way of doing it, through battles. The other way is scrolling through the FYP. Everyone's doom scrolling at some point. I'm no stranger to it myself. And every so often I'll come across someone, I'll go, you've got potential. I'll have a chat with you and I'll see if you've got an agency. And then there's other ways as well where you get quite fortunate when you have people that come in that have friends. So there's a lot of it's doom scrolling, battles and referrals from other people, and that's kind of how we built where we're at now. And also because I'd initially brought that team across in the first place and I had that group of people, there's still people in other countries that can't join us now because we're UK based currently, that want to join that can't, because I've got a team of like 150 people outside of the agency where only the UK people have come in so far.
Wow.
So I had that team, but then there's also the people you meet along the way as well.
Wow. I didn't realise that. I didn't realise you had all those people out there. So what's the one thing that puts you off? So when you sat there doom scrolling and you're 3 o'clock in the morning, your eyes are... and I do it regular. What is the one thing that puts you off?
Bad attitude. Is bad attitude. It's people that are arguing, or people that are overly negative, or even people that are so arrogant and cocky that they're just like, it really puts me off when I see people doing these battles where they're they're sat at home, they're probably friends, but they're arguing, giving each other beef all the time. I don't like that. I think it's manipulative, and I think I just don't like it. I have to know that the person that's coming into this agency is someone that wants to be respectful enough to take advice, but at the same time is confident enough to be able to do lives. But then again, I do also see people that aren't very confident that I think I can help as well. I'm like, you know what? you're a decent, nice, genuine human being. I can work with you, and we can increase your confidence as well. So yeah, it's about attitude more than anything. It's not about looks for me. It's not about what their content is, because that can all be worked on. It's about who they are as a person and how they portray themselves when they're
Yeah,
online.
I get that. So I get that. How many creators are you managing, and how many messages are you at Stupid O'Clock? How many? What?
So I think we're
What's
currently
your?
at seven. I
Sorry,
think
go
we're
on.
at 76 creators. Hello,
Wow.
Cam. Welcome. I think we're at 76 creators at the moment that are in here. I mean, the agency's only been running now for 7 months. We're in our seventh month, so it's quite a young agency compared to others. And as for messages, I will literally, because I work nights as well, and sometimes I sleep through the day, and I can wake up to about 45 to 50 messages
Oh
and
wow.
have to respond to those. And obviously, when you respond to them, messages come back. So
Are
yeah,
they
there's a lot of
are
messages.
they are they are they phishing emails? As in somebody going, I don't know if I want to join you. Can you give me information? Or what are your messages?
So a lot of the time, it's from creators that have questions, that need help with something, that have got a ban. Thank you for the heart me. It's from creators that perhaps are not in the best of places, that may need a little bit of support as well. Because I try my absolute best to be around for as many people as possible. It's not always possible because there's so many people, but if people have issues that, like, I'd like to think I've built enough respect within the team of people that they can come and talk to me, and I can help them through whatever they're going through. It's just one of those things where it's not just about the agency for me. It's about the fact that a lot of these people are kind of my family now,
Yeah. So a creator's harder than family and music artists. It's,
Yeah,
the world that you're in now, I'm assuming, is a heck of a lot harder with the people that you're dealing with day to day.
I
That
think that at times TikTok itself can be quite a toxic environment. And because of that, it's hard to carve out that positive space. But in terms of, yes, it is a lot harder to deal with creators on TikTok, because creators on TikTok, they can disappear and leave anytime they want to, or they can, end up in a space where they want to leave because they've got personal problems or there's issues. It's a constant battle to try and make sure people are okay, and a lot of the time it can be a case of, okay, who's going to crash out today and what have I got to deal with? So that's what makes it harder.
yeah, I get that. I get that. So let's get to the nitty gritty of agencies then. I want to know how does it work split wise? Does how do the splits work? I mean, I don't give you anything. I give you my time as a friend to the agency. I give other agency members my time, but you don't get a cut. So like guys are gifting me now. You don't get a cut of that. I don't run a direct debit to your account and give you money.
Yeah.
You get nothing from me other than my time. So how do you how do
Okay.
you function?
So the way that it works is that, as you know, whether you're in an agency or not in an agency, TikTok takes like a big cut of what you get sent anyway. They'll take 60% of what you get, whether you're in an agency or not in an agency. The difference is that when you're in an agency, if we help you to reach certain targets and goals, TikTok will then pay us out that money they already took off you in the first place. So it doesn't matter if you're in the agency or not in the agency, you're still going to lose your 60% of your gifts regardless. It's just that is then used by TikTok for people like myself and other agencies to operate the official ones, anyway, the ones that are officially partnered with TikTok. So the way that we get paid is it's a mixture of your live hours, your live days, and your diamond count. So you get a percentage as a reward from what they've already taken from you if you get to certain targets and certain levels, which that if you get to certain levels, this is why some agencies will push you through battle after battle after battle. You could see some creators and they're doing 3 battles a week. That's because they're eager to get you to that level where they're getting a payout, and most of them are really money focused and money orientated. Whereas here we tend to not force you into battles. We'll try and prepare you as best as we can, and we'll explain how the agency gets paid and hope that your loyalty is going to help you to push towards those goals and levels so that we can get paid, basically.
So you tell your agency members, you're quite transparent with them.
Yeah, if people ask me about how we get paid, I've actually sat down and I've showed creators what they've made me for the month as well. So it can literally be as little as $2 a creator a month. It can be all the way up to $100 a month. It just depends. It can be further if you get certain targets and goals, but most of the time, literally the majority of creators are probably making no more than $5 each per month for the agency.
Wow. So, and you've got overheads, you've got accountants. I'm assuming you're a registered business, so you've got accountants and running costs, etc. So, how transparent should agencies be about earnings then to their members?
Well, at the end of the day, I suppose that's down to the specific agency and how they want to operate. And I think, it's a business at the end of the day. First and foremost, it is a business, and it does need to make money, as you say, because yes, we have accountancy fees that are sort of like around $5,000 a year, and bank fees and all of that sort of stuff. There's overheads, whether you're paying for AI, email, hosting, all of that sort of stuff. And as an official business, then we have to pay tax on everything that we earn as well. Some agencies are not set up as proper businesses, whereas we are. So we have a lot more in terms of overheads than others. In terms of how transparent people should be, I suppose that's down to how much trust you want to build with the creators that you have under you. I'm very happy to tell people how we get paid and hope that as a result of that, because I've been transparent, they're more willing to work for it, as that's inspired some kind of loyalty with them. Whereas I'm sure there are some agencies that'll be like, right, you're doing a battle today, you're doing a battle tomorrow, you're doing a battle, and they won't tell you why you're doing all these battles, but at the end of the day, it's just so they get paid.
Right. And there's so much to talk about. So what's the dumbest misconception that people have about agencies?
I think the most common misconception is that agencies take a cut of your actual money. There's a lot of people that genuinely believe that if they join an agency, they're going to get less than they would if they were not in an agency, and that's probably the biggest misconception. Don't get me wrong, there are some scam agencies out there that don't operate fully through TikTok, and they're probably the ones that are messaging you 100 times saying they're going to gift you, which is impossible. Because let's be real, if an agency was going to gift all 100 of its creators a hand hearts each, I'm sure you could understand the maths behind that and where's that money coming from if it doesn't exist in the first place. Any agency that says to you, I'm going to drop you gifts, we're going to support you, we're going to be in all of your lives, it's a lie. And anyone that thinks that agencies are there to gift you, you're doing it wrong. That's not an agency, because it's not sustainable. If an agency says, I'm going to be in your lives, support your battles, do this, do X, Y, and Z, they're lying to you. They can't do it. Where's the money coming from? And also, no, we don't take a percentage of your money as an official agency. As I said, it comes out that 60% that was already going to be taken off you, whether you're in an agency or not.
So how do you show yourself to be who you are and not be them? How do you get yourself out of that basket? Because I got, bearing in mind, I got message after message after message in my inbox after 30 minutes, and they all, a lot of them actually were copy and paste. They were the same. I don't know if TikTok send out a PDF with the send this to the people. I think they just copied and pasted it. So how do you bring yourself to be? What's your unique selling point? Your USP? How do you bring yourself away from all these people to be you?
I think that a lot of time people are prospecting over message without ever actually going into somebody's live. I do make an effort to go into people's lives to recruit them or speak to them as I'm speaking to you now, because I feel that you don't know, and even with this filter on, I'm sure you can get a vibe of who I am as a person by talking to me. You don't know if someone's sending you a message, who they are, where they're based, if they're in China, if they're in India. Whereas I can go in and speak to people and go, do you want to chat? Do you want to go on a call? Do you know what I mean? So I think that personally, I think the unique selling point is that we've built this community of people which all interact with each other, have a laugh and a joke, and also the fact that I can speak to people and explain stuff to them and tell them stuff. So, hey, JV, welcome in. So I think that is the unique selling point is the fact that I bother to go into people's lives and evaluate what they're doing and see whether or not I can talk to them. And I'll spend time in their life. I'll spend an hour or two in someone's live and get to know them a bit and ask questions about themselves. And it's the time more than anything. That's the one thing that I have to offer at the moment that bigger agencies don't, is time with people. And that's valuable.
You convinced me by... You asked me at the beginning... We've had this conversation at the beginning of this conversation. I'm going to skip past it very quickly. You asked me at the beginning, are you in an agency? I said, no. Have you just joined? I think you were like one of the first 5 people I spoke to on this app. The first one is quite famous from my followers. They all know who and what she is and was. I'd love to meet her again, by the way. I'd love to go back and thank her for what she did to keep me on this app. But I get so many messages, and just for clarity, this week I've had 15 agency messages in my inbox. Normally, I just close them. I'm not interested. Yeah. I replied to all 15 this week because this was coming up, because me and you were going to have a conversation. One replied to me. One. And all I put was, I'm interested. That's all I typed. One replied to me, and she was lovely. She was so nice. She repeated back to me what my live was. She knew what the hunt was. She knew what the chat was. She knew about Ashtapap. She knew about the UFO hunter. She knew you were coming up. So she has made the effort to come into my live to see me, and I would have given her the time of day. Yeah. And I actually explained to her that I'm in an agency. I did this for research because me and you can have a conversation. So... I mean, look, I got messaged and I sent messages. 15, 1 came back.
Yeah.
So there's more bots, I suspect, than there are genuine people. And that must be a big thing for you to fight.
It is, because there is sort of... there's a saturation of agencies. There are a saturation of agencies. You know, there's probably thousands of agencies out there, and you've got to battle with all of the other ones to show why you're better than the others. And a lot of that is about the time and the effort that you put into other people, because if you don't, you run the risk of being just another money-grabbing agency that wants to get people in, doesn't really care about them, doesn't have onboarding meetings, doesn't speak to them, they don't know who their managers are. And I get that a lot from people. You know, we have people join us that have said, you know what, I was in this agency for 4 months, I never had a meeting with them, I don't even know who my manager is, they never did anything, they just left me to get on with it. Or they put me in 20 million battles. You know, it's like that to me is... it's not hard to fight against that if you can show you're not the same.
That's I talk to a lot of people on my hunting lives that say that they do battles and they don't turn up. And that's... What do you do there? You can't do anything about it. But look, right, so we've pride. So let's move on. So you as an agency, you as an advisor to all these creators, what do you reckon's blowing up right now? What do you think that creators should stop doing, and what do you think they should start doing?
Well, that's 2 questions in one there.
Okay.
Let's
pick one.
Let's take what's blowing up now. At this precise moment in time, the things that are trending are Stranger Things, and also Christmas, because we're so close to Christmas. So if you aren't doing anything related to those trends at the moment, you're probably missing out on a trick. There are some tools that I do help people to use to identify content gaps in the market. In fact, I'm going to have a meeting with you about that at some point. I did have one with Cassie recently. But those are sort of the trends, and there are ways to see what's trending, because it could be music, it could be topics, it could be, you know, anything really. You just got to know where to look for those and utilize the tools that you've got. And as for what was it, the mistakes that people are making, the mistakes that people are making are sitting on live, treating it as a FaceTime call, and not engaging with anyone in the chat. I mean, like I've sat and I've probably not engaged with my chat now as much as I would normally do because of the nature of what we're doing. But I would normally be saying hello to everyone in my chat whilst having the conversation as well.
And you've done that tonight. We've all seen you. You've welcomed people in. You know, I do that. I do the type A while I'm talking, but yeah, I've seen you do it.
But not as much as I would normally do. I'm usually a lot more engaged with the chat because people are communicating. So like I've kind of backed off on that today because of the nature of what we're doing. But I think the biggest mistake that anyone could make, which I'm making tonight, is not engaging with the chat and not welcoming everybody in that comes in to your lives.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, running with a theme, do hashtags matter? I put hashtags in everything. Literally. Do they matter? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. Yes, they matter.
They're a pain in the backside. They really are. Yeah. You've got to think about them. You've got to put effort in them. Can you be bothered? Clearly, it matters.
So there's two ways you can do hashtags. Now, this one's for free for all of you guys because this is something that I don't always tell people. You can do what's called hidden hashtags as well, right? So you have your 4 or 5 hashtags that you can do on your comments and your live, and then you can obviously hashtag people into the comments as well, and you do it on the video. But do you know about hidden hashtags?
No.
Okay, so a hidden hashtag is a piece of text that you put over your video and then drag off to the side so it's not visible anymore. So what you can actually do is put multiple hashtags on like an overlay on top of your video and then just pull them off the screen and they're still sat there and they're actually really amazing to use.
I do loads of stuff off screen. Loads. All my advert videos have stuff off screen. Loads of them. I didn't know you could do hashtags. I don't know why.
So when you actually do, when you're uploading a video and you put it into, if you're doing it on your phone, for example, what you can do is you can put an overlay, where you would normally put a bit of text over it. You put an overlay and you'll put hashtag whatever you want it to be, and then you'll just drag it off the screen so it's not seen, and it will still work as a hashtag in the background.
Wow. I didn't know that.
The algorithm looks at the whole of the video, even the hidden stuff as well. So if you're putting words into your video, it will pick up on those words. It will look at the content. It will look at the sound. It will look at the words, and it will utilize that to be able to put, hey, Choo, welcome in. It will utilize that to be able to put you onto the FYP. And that's the target. Everyone wants to be on the FYP to be discovered, to get that chance to be able to bring followers to you.
I get so many people, so I do Sunday football with my lad, and I stand there at the side of the pitch, and I am not famous, but I get loads of people come up to me going, saw you on my FYP. So many people. I get, honestly, so many people. So is success on TikTok talent or algorithm, mood swings? I mean, there's a lot of rage baiting going on. So how much of it is talent and how much is it luck and knowledge?
I think, let's be real. If you're a good-looking person, you're going to get a lot bigger than if you're not a good-looking person. Let's be real. That's the cold, harsh reality of social media in general. But there are still ways that you can mitigate that and utilize your talent. I mean, let's put it this way. I've managed to successfully be a moon filter for the past 7 or 8 or 9 months, and I'm in the B leagues. So it is possible, even without showing your face, if you've got a personality that can shine through, to be able to be successful. I've done okay in the limited time that I've been on. So yeah, talent does play a little bit of a part in it, but I think personality is probably the main thing that you could possibly have that brings people into your lives, the interaction, the fun. And what people seem to fail to understand sometimes is that you are here to entertain people. If you're not entertaining people, then people are just going to scroll by. We live in a very fickle 7-second world. If you haven't got someone's attention in the first 7 seconds, they're gone. You'll probably never see them again.
Yeah, well, the following that I've got has taken me such a long time to get. They're amazing, by the way. And these guys are diehard fans. They're really good fans. But yeah, 100%. So how do you create? How do you help people that are burnt out? Because you've run your agency for a while. Betty sits on the sofa. She's just sat there talking to people. Mine's a bit different because I run the chat show compared to Betty. But how do you keep people going when they've had enough, when they're burnt out? How do you step in?
It's literally about communication and being able to provide the support. I think the funny thing about this role is there's a percentage of being a therapist at times, and sometimes that there is a percentage of being a therapist, and that's great. You are privileged enough to know a lot of stuff about people's lives. I have made some great friends with people, and I probably know a lot more people in this agency than I do some of my own friends because they've shared stuff with me. Sometimes it's literally just a case of having someone to talk to sound out what they're going through and to be encouraged into doing stuff again. So it's literally a case of you need to put them back on their feet and make them feel better about what they're doing and encourage them and show them how far they've got, and maybe go, well, look at where you were this time 3 months ago, look at where you were this time last week. I've got people that wouldn't go on live, wouldn't go in boxes, and now they're doing lives of their own. It literally is a case of being able to pick people up when they're feeling down and then send them back on their way again.
Yeah, that's good. So is there a formula then for success on here? Or is it just like me? I'm a swan right now. I'm good here, but underneath here, my feet are going like this. So.
I think there's some basic fundamentals. Hey, Jess, I think there's some basic fundamentals that can help you to get that level of success. Communication, interaction, personalizing what you do so that the people that you're around enjoy what you're doing. And I think another big mistake that people make on here is treating people as gifters, right? People will go, oh, that's my biggest gifter. This is my biggest gifter. That they're people at the end of the day. And a lot of the people that go around gifting people do it because they want to have some kind of a connection with people. So labeling someone as a gifter, it's always given me the ick a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's not a gifter, that's a human being. And that human being is someone that you have the opportunity and the privilege to interact with. So treat them as a freaking human being.
100%. 100%. I mean, we've had this conversation, me and you personally, but I do not request anybody to gift me ever. I do battles, but I don't ask anybody. I ask them to tap. I appreciate tonight. Before you came on, I was humbled. I got gifts before I came on. I was so unbelievably humbled by everybody in my chat. Thanked every single one of them personally, I think. But I see people on here. There was a guy called Sobriety Jack who was on Friday night, and I was scrolling through the FYP, and he always interests me because he is an open beggar. He openly asks for things. And he sat there. I don't know how it was allowed, by the way, because I had a glass in my hand and I got a warning. He sat there and asked for somebody to supply him with the money to buy a bag of white, and then asked in the chat for somebody to come and deliver it for him. If there was ever any begging, that is the begging. That is the top of begging, that kid there. And I don't know how he gets away with it.
There is supposed to be a robust platform, thank you for the harmony, Reggie, in place from TikTok. There was a rule that came in maybe 3 or 4 months ago that basically said no begging. But you still see it when you do your random lives, and you might end up in Pakistan with someone that starts, send me gifts, send your gifters over, do this, do that. It happens an awful lot. Hi, Tony, good to meet you. So it's one of those things, it openly happens, and I think that realistically, my thought is that TikTok are not stopping it because at the end of the day, it's generating revenue. I think it would be very silly of them to cut down on people begging for gifts, because at the end of the day, that cuts their revenue down. Essentially, they are a multi-million-dollar business, probably $1 billion actually.
Maybe they need to put some more money into the studio, the TikTok studio app. But that's another story for another day. So
say that there are some new things coming with that, including the CPU. We all know that TikTok Live Studio does eat at CPU, but don't worry, that's all been sorted. I'm reliably told, and we have now got we've got it for Mac as well. So there's a Mac version.
wow,
launching.
Cassie, you'll be living the dream, Cassie. Right, go on. What's your spiciest unpopular opinion about TikTok agencies then?
Oh, half of them are crap.
Do you know what? I could probably name half of them for you. They're in my inbox.
Yeah, not to speak badly. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, people are doing what they're doing. You've got to respect that. You know, they're putting the effort in. But I think that a lot of people. I mean, I'm still finding my feet as an agency owner. It's hard work. There's new challenges every single day. But I think that there are some people that really don't care enough about what they're doing. They just want to sign people up and not put any of the effort in to help people with what they're doing. And that, for me, that's what makes a crap agency. It's a case of there are agencies that I have witnessed that are in, you know, our programs where we go to TikTok meetings all the time, and they're working their asses off. They're constantly, you know, trying to make things better. But then there's some agencies that are just literally signing you up and you're never having contact with them again. So yeah, that's it really.
So I mean, there are some big people on here. DG Decor, Valerie. Valerie's the biggest TikToker in Europe. The woman that's won Live Fest is a singer, and what did she get? She got 14 million points. So there are some big people. I don't include myself in that, by the way. But does TikTok favour certain creators that, you know, because it looks unfair? Because they can DJ Decor can say what he wants and whenever he wants. That guy can say anything, and but he can do £250,000 battles, £250,000 point battles, not pounds. Take that back. So, do you reckon they favour certain people?
Oh yeah, 100%, most definitely. I think the bigger you are as a creator, the more leeway and leniency you get due to your revenue generation. I think that's probably true in most businesses. If someone, for example, in a corporate business is bringing you in millions of pounds and they say something that it may not be politically correct, whereas someone else may get fired from it, they may get a slap on the wrist. I think that's true in every environment. It's the nature of the world. There are creators that will get bananaed at the drop of a hat for doing something very silly, and then there are those that can just get away with, well, the word that means unaliving people. I can't say that because TikTok.
So where does that leave me and you? I'm not saying I'm getting there, by the way, but just for argument's sake, say I have 1,000 people in my live, every single live, and I do awesome on diamonds. Where does that leave me and you? Because I'm assuming that they would approach me and say, drop him, come to us, and we'll support you.
Yeah, so this is the thing. There's something. This is an interesting subject in itself. Actually, there's actually penalties in place for something called poaching of creators, and I fell afoul of that actually when I very first started because I wasn't aware of it when I first started running the agency.
Oh dear.
There's something called a poaching violation, and if you are actively encouraging someone to leave their agency, we've all done it at some point, I know, but if you're actively encouraging people to leave their agency and there's records of that, then the agency that you have done that to can get you a violation or a warning for your agency and your creator itself. And there's also at that stage you have something called a health score behind the scenes at an agency. There's a lot of things that you don't know that agencies have to abide by. There are certain rules, metrics, KPIs, all of that sort of stuff. Otherwise, you can lose access to backstage. You can lose access to the contract with TikTok. So there are very real-world consequences to not following the terms and conditions. For example, what people don't realize is when they get severe violations backstage, we can get fined and charged for it. So it could be anything from a couple of dollars upwards, where if you've done something and you have been bananaed and it's something that they class as a serious violation, you could be costing me more money than you're actually earning me.
Wow. So, so do you reckon TikTok's more drama than creativity then?
I suppose it depends on the corner of the internet you carve yourself out. I would say that with every industry, whether it be music, because that's a good example, or whether it be TikTok or wherever it is, there's always going to be people that thrive off drama. You just can't help it. It's the nature of the beast, it's the nature of humanity, and the nature of the way people are. The only thing that you can try and do is, if you find yourself involved in drama, is to extricate yourself away from it as much as possible. And I tend to use the block button. If I can do that and extricate myself away from that drama, I'll try my hardest. If it's not someone that I can talk to and have an adult conversation with, I'll block and go. And that's basically the only way I deal with it, because I need to maintain my own mental health, because it takes a lot of hits as it is.
I've blocked 14 people, and all 14 of them are my son's friends. Not one of them has hit puberty. Not one. You know? So what's your honest opinion on battles then? Are they strategy? Are they digital begging? Look, I don't know what to think about. I mean, I did a battle for you. I loved it, by the way. The experience for me was awesome. I spent days planning my music. I spent 2 days doing music. So for me personally, to create a battle was incredible. What's your opinion?
So with battles, I suppose it depends on your own personal viewpoint. The way that I look at it is, you spend a lot of time online entertaining people, and most of the time you're doing it for free. If you're going to end up doing a battle, it gives those people that come and watch your content the opportunity to come and support you, and you to eventually end up getting some kind of a reward for it. And at the end of the day, I do my morning battles on a regular basis just to try and keep my leagues, but I'll only ever do one major arranged battle a month, because I feel any more than that from someone that's doing the level of battles that I'm doing, it feels like taking the mick. So I feel that there's a fine balance between doing what you need to do to keep your leagues and, be able to gift back out to people, because I do a lot of that as well. The vast majority, like 98 point whatever percent of what I get, ends up getting gifted back out and coming to other people's battles, which agencies aren't supposed to do, by the way. You're not supposed to go around gifting people. So I actually put my wages from my night job into running this agency, but what I was initially doing when I first came onto TikTok was gifting out of my own money. But now I'm very privileged to be in a position where, when I get gifted, I now don't have to dip into my own money to be able to gift other people. So I think that, if you're feeding into the ecosystem, if you're gifting other people, as long as you're not one of these people that goes, right, thank you very much, you just made me $150, I'm taking that all out, bye, see you later. I feel that's greedy, and I feel that if you don't give something back, then I can't even say the word.
I have never topped up my account, as you know, from my bank, but I have always put the money that I've earned in. Like now, I put that back in the ecosystem. I go find smaller TikTokers and I go and bless them with what I would bless with. The blessing that I got earlier, the humbling that I got earlier, would make me think a bit harder where I send that. Do you reckon it's sustainable as a creator, the fame side of it, or do you reckon it's just, I don't know, maybe a hallucination? Maybe they just, look, I don't know. I go to Sunday football, people recognise me. I were in town the other day talking to my sister. She was talking to someone. I think she's told him that I was on TikTok, but he recognised me. It did not go to my head, by the way, but it could easily. I've got an interview with someone coming up, and he's grown so fast, and it's definitely gone to his head. Where do you think that is? Do you reckon it's sustainable?
So, obviously, I've come from two backgrounds. I've come from a music background, and I've also done TikTok. And a lot of the reason why I initially hid my persona, apart from the confidence thing, was the fact that as a DJ, I was well known within my niche, within my industry. and I would go out and I would literally have people mobbing me to, sign their arms and their backs and all sorts of stuff. So that, I think, is part and parcel of becoming someone that's recognized and being someone that is good at what you're doing. I think that it is entirely possible for it to go to people's heads, but it depends on the sort of person that you are and how well you deal with that sort of stuff. But it can be sustainable as long as your heart's still in it and as long as you're doing it for the right reasons. The issue that I find is that people get to this massive level, they'll crash out, they'll go crazy, they'll let it go to their heads, and then they'll have a massive fall afterwards. It's the same with musicians, it's the same with artists. You'll get those one-hit wonders in the music industry that suddenly make millions and they're broke in 5 years' time. It's literally down to the person, the personality, how sensible you are, and what you do. If you're earning £30,000 a day on TikTok, which is possible, and I have seen it, if you're earning £30,000 a day and you're just going out and blowing that £30,000 every day, well, you're going to be broke in 10 years when you finally decide you don't want to do it anymore. It's one of those.
I would love to earn 100 quid a day. Just put me into that. £30,000 a day. What do you spend that on? Really? I mean, come on. So that's bonkers. I've seen it though. I've not seen that level, but I've seen people earn. Valerie earns $250,000 per battle, and I watched her do 3 in a row.
What people have earned on a live, there's a really useful website called TickLeap, and if you look for TickLeap and put their user handle in, you'll be able to see what they've earned that day in pounds and what they earned for the past few days as well.
Right, so what's that called? Because we're going to test that now. What's it called?
TickLeap.
TickLeap.
L-E-A. Leap with a P on the end.
L-E-A. Right, guys in the chat, I have earned on my live tonight an amount. Go to TickLeap. Is it .com?
I think it's tickleap.com. Let me have a look.
Go to tickleap.com in the chat and find out what unpopular opinion. It's got the UK at the end, by the way. Unpopular opinion UK is my username. Go let me know in the chat what it says I've earned today. That'd be so interesting. So have you ever dropped a creator for the most dramatic reason, and can you say it?
It would be unfair of me to go into specifics. It would be very unfair.
I knew you weren't going to answer it, but it was worth a question.
I have dropped creators due to drama. I have dropped creators and got them gone. I won't go into the details or specifics of it because it wouldn't be right. But yes, that is a possibility. If I feel that someone has got to a level where it's unmanageable and they are causing more toxicity than positivity, then yes, I will cut them off to save the rest of the people from dealing with it. 100%.
Right.
Yes.
My chat has come back with an amount. So it is saying $4 today, and then I've got an estimated at 3 today, so £3. Just for clarity to everybody, I have done $2.99 is what it says up there. So it's not far off, is it? It's close. But yeah, it's bonkers. It's TikTok takes so much off you. It's insane. I mean, a lot. I've seen a lot of creators put a PP up. For those that don't know, I'm going to say it really quickly and then put TikTok Shop at the end of it because we're not allowed to say it. But PayPal, TikTok Shop. A lot of creators put that up because they gift far higher than that, and then TikTok takes 60%.
Well, for example, you have something like a uni, which is the most expensive gift on TikTok, and it would probably cost somewhere in the region of like £450 to drop that TikTok uni, and the creator's probably going to get about £180 out of that.
It's painful. So I spent more tonight. This is Tony. I spent more tonight, just me, than you earned already. Yeah, Tony. It's insane. It's not. It baffles me. I'm going to do an interview one night with some big gifters, and this is this conversation that we're going to have about this. So let's get back to where we were because we kind of digressed off that a little bit.
It was just interesting to go down that route and give people a little bit of,
It
go and
is.
support creators, go and see what they're earning.
It costs. So there's one on here that cost me 732 Canadian for a uni. It, I need a conversation with people about this. We're not here for this tonight, but it baffles me. Me and you have had this, Kyle, many times. This conversation, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But it's kind of thrown us off track. So let's come back to the conversation. Let's come back a little bit towards the structure, because the money side of things is insane. But slightly on the money side. So do you, for every dollar, because everything's in dollars on TikTok, for every dollar I earn, what do you get?
It doesn't work like that. So we don't get a cut of the money. What happens is we will get a percentage of what's called diamond count, live hours, live days. It happens backstage. So let's pull it up now, shall we, Paul? Let's have a look at what you've done this month for the agency and
just to clarify with you and my followers, whatever you say on my account, I am more than happy for anybody to hear what you've got to say. Nothing on there for me is private. I'm quite happy for it to come out. So don't feel that you can't say anything.
Sure. Okay. So far this month, you've done 3.5 hours. You've done 2 valid live days, and you've done 1.6 K diamonds.
Bearing in mind, we're on the 3rd of December, so we're only 3 days in.
As a result of that, you have earned the agency 48 cents.
Oh, are we going out for dinner on you?
48 cents, and then turn that into pence.
Yeah. So what's that? Can you Google that?
If someone in the chat could possibly tell us how much 48 cents is in pence.
Yeah, let's have that conversation. Right, so 48 cents, chat, into British pounds, so pence, 48 American cent into pounds is how much the agency has earned off me in 3 days. I don't pay that. TikTok pay it. But also, in those 3 days, how
36
much?
Pence.
36p.
Come back 36 pence from the chat.
Well, let's ask the obvious question. What have you done for me in 3 days to earn 36p?
Why don't you tell me?
We have spoken every day in 3 days. We've not necessarily spoken by voice. I think we've done twice in 3 days. The question is, have we spoken as agency or as friends? I would like to think that we've spoken as friends once. And I would put tonight's chat as friends because we were going to do this. Agency chat, I think, once in 3 days. So that chat was, would you say 30 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes?
Yeah, so probably a bit.
You've got 30 pence for 40 minutes work. And that's just me. You've 70 odd of them.
Yeah. Hello, Chloe. Welcome in.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Why do you do it? What's the point?
You really don't earn that much. And the reason why you really don't earn that much off a general, on a general basis, the way that the agency tends to make money is when creators hit certain peaks and certain targets. So, say for example, if someone got to something big like 1 million diamonds, then the agency would probably get a few £100s out of that person on that month. But then you've also got to take into account as well, if someone's doing that, do you want to offer them an incentive? Do you want to give them a little thank you back? Because a lot of the things that I've noticed about creators, and there's no one in this agency specifically, but in terms of other agencies, there's a lot of creators that feel they're entitled to a cut of that money that you make because they made it for you. But in reality, they don't tend to take into account all of the work that goes on in the background. Thank you very much for the heart, mate. They think, oh, well, I've made you $200 this month. Where's my cut of that money that we've made you? They don't take into account the battles, the posters, the talks, everything that's going on behind the scenes, the costs. There's a lot of people, and there's no one in this agency, thankfully, that's like that feel entitled to a cut of the money that you make because they feel like you made it off them.
Wow, it's interesting, isn't it? It's a very interesting conversation. I am going to create a conversation soon. I do you obviously have conversations with TikTok. Do you talk about percentages with them, and do they listen to you?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, we have TikTok and then we have our liaison team between TikTok and ourselves, the agency. So the scope of what they can do is kind of limited. We don't get the opportunity to deal with the the decision makers at TikTok. We get to deal with the various teams, whether it be the brand protection team or the product development team or the campaigns team. We basically have the ability to segue into those departments, but we're never going to be able to influence percentages and stuff. That's a higher level business decision that gets fed to us, and the percentages change all the time. There's forever new cuts, or they're making it harder, or you've got to do certain things. For example, an agency has to do what's called graduation of creators, which is turning them from a rookie into someone that's earning 75k or 150k or 500k. We've had this conversation already. If you don't graduate 5% of your creators each month, you get negative marks, and then you get a lower percentage the month after, and so on and so forth. So if we don't graduate creators, we get penalized, and the small amount of money that we get gets cut down even more until we graduate people.
So, right, I have to word this very carefully. So we are off script right now, by the way. You, what do I say to Tony, who came in the chat, and he said he's gifted me more than I have in my amount that I have earned tonight. What do I say to Tony tomorrow if I come back on live tomorrow with the chat with Con? How do I get Tony to gift me again if Tony's giving me more? I mean, obviously there's 60% and 40%, blah, blah, blah. But how do I convince Tony to re-gift me? Because surely what he's just found out now just makes him think, well, why should I?
Because at the end of the day, you are on a platform, unless he's going to physically send you money, which some people, as you say, put their PP in their bio. At the end of the day, you're within an environment. And as with every single environment, let me ask you this. Why would you go out to work and do a job if the government's going to take a percentage of your job?
Well, yeah, but the government's taking money and TikTok's taking money. It's so difficult, isn't it? You've got to balance earning yourself to be a successful creator, and you've got to balance the people that follow you, that like what you do, and keep them happy. And which is why most creators do not have this conversation with people. I mean, Mr. UK TikTok official comes on every day, all day, every day. He does hours and hours and hours, and he will not come off until he's done £260, not dollars. And he slipped up, but he never admits to what he earns. But he did once admit it. But like Tony just said, it seems a waste of money giving gifts as they take so much money.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's as with anything. I mean, you could go to Starbucks and spend an inordinate amount of money on a coffee that costs you £5-6, or you can go and buy some from your local shop. It just depends what you feel like doing. And at the end of the day, there's that interactive environment here where people are sending you gifts. People enjoy seeing your reactions, and they enjoy gifting you. Like, gifting can become an addiction, and there is a dark side to that as well, but it can be one of those things where people are gifting you because you're there and you're providing the content and you're having a laugh and they're getting involved in the environment and you're doing the battles. And at the end of the day, it's why would you spend money on anything? You're spending the money on the gifts to have the reactions and have the laugh, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get as much out of it, but you're still in this environment where you're enjoying it and stuff's happening.
So where do you see TikTok heading then? Because I did Cassie's mentioned it in the chat. We did a seminar the other day, and my prediction was we would either rise or fall. There's no in between. Where do you, as an agency, see TikTok heading? Up, down, gone, abyss?
It's a very difficult one, this, because It leans into the recent acquisition of TikTok by several high-ranking US-based Zionist people. So there's a lot of situations now where stuff is getting censored because it is now based in the US. So it depends on how much the US fucks it up, basically, in my opinion. It was running very well. It was running very, very well until just recently. But it's been, that acquisition by the American interests and the Zionist interests has put a spanner in the works. So it's either going to sink or fall, and sink or rise. And at this stage, I'm not sure. Let's hope it does well. But who knows? Who knows at this stage? I am on the fence as to where we're going to be with it. I'll keep on hoping for the best and planning for the worst. But in that meantime, essentially I'm running a media company, so it can pivot if necessary to something else. But at this moment in time, it is focused solely on TikTok right now.
So do you reckon... Oh, by the way, forgive me, just a bit of housekeeping. I forgot to mention it. Literally just popped in my head. Tony... I've sorted out Lily for what was gifted to her, because Lily, we did Are You Smarter Than 11-Year-Old? Lily didn't receive anything from that, and gifts were sent to her and her mum. They were both on live together. She didn't receive a penny. I've sorted that out. I've managed to go back. I've managed to work out what it was. I'm going to sort that out and get that sent over to you, because that's what Lily earned through that live. So I have dealt with that. So coming back to you, sorry, Kyle, is AI helping or replacing you?
AI is never going to be able to replace a human, not at its current stage. I think that you need to get on board with AI, otherwise you're going to get left behind. And I think that it's going to be a more successful world for those people who are able to operate AI successfully, and those that don't are going to get left behind real quick. That's my personal opinion. You can utilize it as a tool because it's still not at the stage where it's going to take over the world just yet. Give it another 20, 30 years when ChatGPT is capable of thinking. At that stage we might have to worry about Skynet, but at the moment, it's a tool to be utilised, and it's how you choose to utilise it right now.
I use it every day for this channel. These questions that I've sent you, that I'm asking you now, have gone through ChatGPT because I use them every day. So, do you reckon, with the uncertainty of TikTok and talking about the GIFs and things like that, and the rules and the Americans and blah blah blah, do you reckon another platform could easily just walk in and be number one? I
think, Paul, if you think about it, I think that is possible, and you've got to think about this as well. Every generation has their own. I was speaking about this earlier, actually, with someone. I was saying that every generation has their own social media platform. If you go back to sort of what was the first one that was around? Was it MySpace and MSN, all of that sort of stuff?
Oh, and AOL chat. Boop. Do you remember it?
Unfortunately not. But there was stuff like Facebook, that went on to then Instagram, Twitter, which has obviously been taken over and turned into X. And I think that at this moment in time, TikTok is the current platform that, a certain generation use. And I think that as that generation grows older and stays on TikTok, the next platform will come up. Every generation seems to have their platform. Some of us are on a crossover between Facebook and TikTok, but I think there's always going to be the possibility another platform rises up and takes over, because that's the nature of every business, really.
So if it vanished, what are you going to do?
If it vanished, I would hopefully have got to a stage where the media company is doing publishing of books, bringing the record label in, doing all sort of stuff related to media, video creation, publishing, and also at some point hopefully have some stocks and shares in other companies that bring in passive income. So maybe even property at some point in the future, because that's a goal as well. So right now TikTok's the focus, but I am looking at other avenues, merchandise, media, even doing stuff on Fiverr, just all that sort of stuff. As I say, I'm a music producer. I can do audio production. I can do, with AI, you can do video production these days so easily. You just need the right tools. So there's always a pivot with every company. There's plans in place, but I don't think we're there just yet.
So, so let's get nitty gritty. What do small creators need to do before signing to you? So I recommend. I talk to people. You know what my channel is. I talk to hundreds of people a night, and not literally, but I send people. If people are interested, I send them. And I never recommend the agency ever to anybody, but I do say to them, come across, listen, drop in, have a conversation. So what do you reckon any small creator should do before they sign the contract with you?
I think that with me personally, or just agencies in general?
Yeah, sorry, with an agency in general.
I think that it's important to go and see what kind of an environment that they've got and see how interactive those people are with each other. I think it's a lot harder for bigger agencies to have that community spirit. When you've got 1,000 or 2,000 creators, it's nigh on impossible to bring everyone together every night and have a laugh and a joke, because it would just be impossible. I think as we get bigger, it's going to be harder and harder to be able to keep people more motivated and interactive within the boxes I do at night time. But we currently have 150 people passing through every single night, and we're still successfully managing to keep a team environment. I think you need to be able to go into those people's lives and have a listen to how they interact with each other, whether they have a laugh and a joke, are they arguing with each other all the time, that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, as I've said millions of times before, there is drama in every agency at some point. There's always going to be some piece of drama, but is the general vibe of the agency constant drama, or is it a laugh and a joke most of the time with the occasional bit of drama? I don't think you can ever escape drama. It's just part and parcel.
Well, it's a human nature thing, isn't it? They can't help themselves. I'm involved in a bit of drama at the moment in my personal life, and it's very easy to deal with.
Right.
Don't care, don't talk to me, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's what I do. So what separates creators who blow up from the ones who just drop it and walk away?
Effort, consistency. Like I say to every single creator, that people that scroll through TikTok use it as a replacement for their own, TV shows, or they'll spend hours scrolling on TikTok. They might wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is reach for their phone and pick that phone up. Thank you for the taps, Chloe. So the thing that you've got to do is put yourself in front of those people in a way that you're so consistent that they know when you're going to be coming on. Unless something really bad's happened for me, or I'm shattered or not very well, people know that if I'm not in a bad place, I'm going to be on every single morning at 8 a.m. or just after 8 a.m. Where people can come to my live. And, I'll be doing battles. They also know that at 10 p.m. at night, if I'm working, my boxes will be up and they'll be able to come in the boxes and have a chat. So there's the people that come to the boxes, there's the people that come to the battles. And, it's consistency. It's people putting you as a part of your routine and the way you interact and communicate with those people as well.
What's your number one thing that you like if you're going to start an agency? I'm not, by the way. I wouldn't have one given. What's the do not do thing?
Don't start one. Just do not start an agency.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew when I was asking it. I was like, it's just going to say don't do it.
Don't do it. You will have sleepless nights. You will have stress. And you will be in a position where your mental health is negatively impacted as a result of it. You have to be really freaking dedicated and have a good team of people around you to want to carry on running an agency.
I can't imagine. I really can't. I work. I'm not at work in my full-time job at the moment. I have a medical condition that I'm trying to get sorted. So I'm really fortunate in the world of TikTok to not be doing that. But I work all day, every day to keep this going, to keep the content going, to keep these chats going. So for you've 76 creators. In 3 days, we've had one friend conversation, one TikTok agency conversation in 3 days, and you do 76 of those.
Yeah, it's now got to the stage where when I have my days off from work, I have to have my days scheduled now to the point where I'm having meetings every half hour with a creator, or I'm doing stuff, or I'm going to see the accountant, or whatever. It's very hard now to have time to call people on an ad hoc basis unless I'm supposed to be sleeping. So you'll find that I sleep very little now. I probably have about 4 or 5 hours a night if I'm lucky, or a day, as the case may be. And then ever so often, I'll get so shattered I'll disappear for 24, 48 hours and catch up on my sleep. But now I find myself eating into my sleep, having to schedule in people to talk to, which is why I kind of get really stressy with people when they don't turn up on time to these meetings, or they forget, or they're like, "Oh, I didn't know we had that today." I'm like, "Well, that's your slot. Be there." It's one of them.
Yeah, no, I get it. So when as a creator, so me, when my earnings jump from pocket change, and I mean that with the greatest respect to everybody that has gifted me tonight, when they go from pocket change to a substantial income, what is the agency advice to protect me and my money?
Well, if you're at that stage where you're then taking money out of the app, then like that stage, I'm saying to you, you know what, you need to be investing that money in something that's going to generate you more money, because people that go and blow their earnings or stuff, or develop habits that they shouldn't be doing, is one of those things where I just advise people, if you're ever at that fortunate stage where you're making enough money to take money out, invest it in something, even if it's just investing in yourself, even if it's investing in your education, investing in courses that help you, or investing in new equipment for your lives, or even if you want to go the whole hog of actual investments with stocks and shares and that sort of thing. Make sure that what you're spending that money on is something that's going to be positive for the future of what you're doing, and always be mindful that TikTok, as we say, may not always be around in the future, and that money may dry up at some point. And it's the same advice I give to anyone that makes a load of money in music as well. Don't go and blow it all. Make sure you're investing in stuff, whether it be property or whether it be, stocks and shares and dividend stocks, or ISAs or whatever. Don't go blow all your money. Just be sensible with it. Don't go and blow like a brand new Mercedes and have nothing left because you can't afford to run it. It's don't go and start developing a freaking, habit with like people begging online for white stuff. Just don't do that shit. Don't do it.
I get it. So let's lighten it up slightly. What's your biggest I actually did that moment?
I think setting this up and keeping it running for as long as it has been is kind of like a crazy done it. But at the end of the day, I didn't do it by myself. I've got a great team of people behind me. I have to give special mention and special thanks to Mark, who, when we first set up the agency together, he put a lot of legwork in. I have to give thanks to people like Cassie and Winona, who are always behind the scenes helping out. Cassie as a manager, Winona as the admin team. We've brought on a couple more people in the admin team as well. We've got people like Kimmy and a few others that are helping out as well. And just in general, everybody that's in the agency, because they all pull together, they all work as a team. And you know what, I feel very privileged and very fortunate to know this group of people. People like yourself, when you help out with doing videos and music and AI stuff, it's one of those things where I love the fact that everyone pulls together, and despite the fact we're all freaking broke, we're all still pulling together as a team and working towards a common goal, and I love that.
I don't like that. You said broke. I don't think we are. No, I know, because I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I think you're wrong. Forgive me, because I'm going to pull you up on this, and I think you are wrong. I think we are incredibly rich. We have the most wonderful people. I have never ever come on here and dropped in a box, for example, or dropped in someone's live and not felt welcome. And that to me is worth more than anything anybody gives me. For example, okay, I have I have Tony, Jem, Jordan, Ellie, Toya, and Cassie in my life now, and I've got quite a few more in Ninja. But just those particular people, they come and they support me day in, day out. They make me the richest man in the world.
I love that.
On TikTok. So yes, we might be broke in the bank, but in my heart, in my support for what I've got, I'm the richest man in the world. I can come on here and find someone that I know that I can feel welcome with and drop in a chat with them. And that, Kyle, is you. And that is your agency that have created that. So
it's not me, it's everybody. Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for people having a laugh, having a joke, and creating that atmosphere and that environment, we wouldn't be where we are today. This isn't me. I've just managed to get a really good group of people together to provide that atmosphere. Like, I can't take the credit. I can take the credit for finding them and trying to hold people together, but in terms of the atmosphere and the people, that's all them. That's all who they are as people.
It is, but without you. Without mortar in a house, you've got bricks waiting to fall over in the wind. So maybe you're a little bit of mortar. But anyway, we're getting soppy. We'll move on. So what's one piece of brutally honest advice you could give to every TikToker? And let's face it, we're all TikTokers that are watching now. What's the most brutally honest thing you could say to them, advice-wise?
Don't be a cunt.
Hold back, Tony. Take a breath. Hey, dear. So, come on. Where can people find Break the Chains? How do they sign up to you? Bearing in mind, right, I'm going to preempt this. My sister, Jem, went looking tonight. I asked her to go looking. I didn't. I'm fibbing. But she did anyway, and she let me know. To come to your account and find the agency link, got too confused and went to the wrong place. So how do they find you?
Right, okay. So we have a Break the Chains official TikTok account that is very inactive at the moment because I've not had enough time to generate content on it. If you search for Break the Chains, there is an official TikTok account. You can sign up for the link there. There isn't much content on it as I've been so busy doing other stuff, but that's all in the pipeline. Alternatively, if you do go to my actual bio, which I'm on right now, there is a link, and you can click on that link and hit apply, and then, you know, add me and drop me a message just to say hi, and we can take it from there. But yeah, there's a link in my particular bio, and I'm sure at some stage there'll be links that are individually linked to other people in their bios at some stage as well. But yeah, that's how you join up. And as long as you're not a part of another agency at the moment, as long as you're 18 plus, as long as you're in, you know, the area that we service, you can join as well. And also, as long as you're the sort of person that is the sort of person that's going to fit in well with what we're doing as well, then everyone's welcome to join. You know, I have that aim, as I say, of trying to get to 100 creators by Christmas. That was the aim. So fingers crossed we get there.
I love that. That's amazing. So let's end on this one, unless you end up throwing something else in my head and I have no choice but to ask it. Describe TikTok in one word. Make it a good one. Or one sentence, if you're struggling.
That's a very hard one because every fibre of my being wants to put in toxic, but at the same time, positivity. Like it's a very double-edged sword.
Can I give you mine?
Go on.
So when we go hunting, which we do many nights, we go looking for the weird bonkers people of TikTok, as you know. You've been on my live, and most people in my chat have been on my live. And I say to people, this app is the most weirdly wonderful, toxic, bonkers, crazy, not normal thing I have ever done in my life. It's not normal. It's not right. But for some reason, it's addictive, and you can't help it. That first woman I spoke to is the reason me and you are talking now, because she came at me, and that's TikTok.
Should we go with the word unique? Because I mean, I feel like unique encapsulates the mood of this place
Yeah.
fantastically.
Yeah, I
Let's
love
go with
that.
you.
We'll go with unique. Listen, Kyle, we have done an hour and a half. I'm going to let you go. You are amazing. You are such an interesting bloke. There is more conversation to be had about your life, not in TikTok. Um, but I'm so unbelievably proud to know you as a person in my private life and to be part of your agency. And I'm not pushing that to sell the agency. I just think you're a really nice bloke. I wish you all the luck in the agency. Thank you so much for coming on and having a conversation. We will catch up a little bit later on after my live. But I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go and relax, have a shot, whatever it is that you do.
I think I'm going to do a shot after that. I just want to say before I go a massive thank you to everyone that's been watching now. I know I've not been very interactive with the chat, but thank you to all of you guys that are watching on my side and on Paul's side as well. It's been great to give you a bit of an insight as to what we do. So take care of yourself. You are amazing.
You've had 225 people in my side, and we have averaged 12 Ninja viewers at any one time.
That's crazy. That's crazy. An absolute pleasure. Keep on doing what you're doing, Paul, because you are amazing as well.
Thank you.
Much love to you.
I appreciate you, Carl. Look after yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow. What an amazing dude. I mean, very interesting. We found out so much information, didn't we? Cassie, I would love to thank you for being on hand to help us out. Let me get rid of that. We don't need that next to me, do we? Thank you for the timer. I appreciate it. Cassie, thank you for helping with the mod tonight. Everybody that has been in my live, I'm not necessarily going to drop off just yet. I thought I might do a little cheeky hunt. We're at 9:30. But what a really nice bloke. And didn't back out of anything, did he? Not one question. So I love that. I love that he did that. Thank you, Cassie. So, guys, thank you for the gifts. Tony, I am right there with you with what you were talking about the gifts. It does make you wonder. It does make you question. I work so hard for what I do, and you work so hard to gift it to me. So, how does that work? Do you know what I mean? It's an odd one. It is an odd one. I don't know what to do with it. Don't get me wrong. I am unbelievably proud to know you, and I am unbelievably grateful for what you do. I just don't know where you go with that. Thank you, Cassie, so much for the hand hearts. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan, Tony, Jem, Alex, Toya, for the gifts. You are unbelievably incredible. Let me know in the chat, by the way, guys. How do you reckon that went? Did you like that? Did you like the conversation? I thought we got on really well. Fourth. Love that. Right, come on, let's send out a co-host. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's have Eva the Diva. Really good. We had a really good chat. We get on really well, though. We do get on very well. It's easy to get on with. Let's go through the famous list. Do we see if there's anybody on there before we go in? Papu Jut Army. What is that? I don't know who he is. We're not inviting him. No, don't know any of them. Not one of them. Bro, let's go back up. Let's go to random. Where do we go? Really good. Me is slacking was good. 1 point. I appreciate you, Tony. Thank you. Third, George. Yes. Third now because Cassia's left. LOL. That was American, wasn't it? In a really bad way. Right, we're going. I have sent out that invite. Don't forget, tomorrow night is Connor, the care kid. He's not even a kid. Kyle seemed he's a lovely bloke. And such an amazing life. We need a conversation about his music career. American indeed, Paul. LJ, welcome. How are you? Who's coming tomorrow night for Con? 8 o'clock. Who's going to drop in and see that? And if anybody knows anybody if anybody knows anybody that they want me to interview, send them to me in a message and I will do my best to get them. I did check partway through that interview to see if the Harry Potter guy had messaged, but he hadn't. I hadn't even read it. In fact, he's live, so he's not gonna. We are restricted as well. No idea, but can't tag George either. It keeps saying settings have been. I don't know. Or it might be. It might be because I'm restricted. So I might need to end and come back. You like my name now, Paula? Yeah, George, lovely. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Give me 3 seconds. Do you know why I get extra work, Eva the Diva? I don't know why you get extra work. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to come off. I'm going to have a tinkle from my winkle. I'm going to go top the pool up. Spray from... Stop. I'm going to go do that. And then I'm coming back and I'll drop straight back on my live. Give me 3 3/4 minutes and I will be back. Look at my name display though on the board. Wow. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, amazing. No, I'm going to not be first. I'll be back in 3 3/4 minutes, guys, because I need to end it because I'm restricted, and then I'll come back. Won't be long.